This student, I have explained you about a terrestrial plant and I have shown you flow chart of a plant. Okay, it is clear to you all. Flow chart, plant is divided into two parts, that is, one is terrestrial plant and another one is aquatic plant. Plant that grow in land is known as terrestrial plant and a plant that grow in water is known as aquatic plant. So it is clear to you all about a terrestrial plant. Some plant grow in hill, some plant grow in desert. So according to their growing, they are having different types of features. Some plant grow in plain, some plant grow in marshal area, and some plants grow in hot and damp area. Now today I will tell you about the aquatic plant. Plant that grow in water is known as aquatic plant. What is aquatic plant? Plant that grow in water. That is called aquatic plant. Now this aquatic plant are three types. What are the three types? One is floating plant, next one is fixed plant, and next one is underwater or submerged plant. It is three types. Aquatic plants are of three types. What are they? Number one, floating plant. Number two, fixed plant. And number three, underwater or submerged plant. Clear? Now about a floating plant. Example is duckweed, water lizard, etc. Okay, what you see in this plant, this plant float in the water. Why they float in the water? Because they are light and small. Why? Because this type of plant are light and small, so they float on the water. Understood? On the surface of water. This plant not having a fixed root in the soil. Inside the soil, their roots are not fixed. This type of plants, floating plant, they are having spongy body. What type of body they are having? Spongy body. And it is an empty space are there, and lots of empty space are there, and it is filled with the air. That empty space is filled with what? Air. Understood? This make a body light enough to float. This make them to body light to float there. Understood? Which type of plant are there? Floating plant. What are the example of floating plant? Duckweed and water lizard, etc. This type of plant is known as floating plant. Why? Because they float on the water. They float on the surface of the water. Why? Because they are light in weight and they are small in size. Small in size and light in weight, so they float on the surface of water. Clear, student? Now, they are having a no fixed root inside the water body. This plant are not fixed in the soil. Inside the soil, roots are not fixed inside the soil. This plant, they are having their body, which type? Spongy body. Their body are very spongy. Why their body are spongy? Because their body is spongy and many space, empty space are there. Many empty space are there and it is filled with what? Air. It is filled with air and that makes their body light in weight, and for that reason they can float on the surface of water. Understood? Now next one is fixed plant. Next is what? Fixed plant. Example of fixed plant, what is that? Lotus and water lily. Understood? Next one is what? Fixed plant. The example of fixed plant is lotus and water lily. It is clear? Now what you see in this type of plant, their roots are fixed inside the soil. Roots are fixed there. Leaves are broad. This type of plant, they are having broad leaves and it float on the surface of the water. Leaves are covered with a waxy coating. Why? Because it helps the leaves from rotting. Sarjana, understood? It helps the leaves from rotting. And stromata is also present on the upper surface of the leaf that help in exchange of gases. Understood? Where stromata is present, upper surface of the leaf, and it helps to exchange of gases. In this type of plant, stems are what type? They are hollow stem. Which type of stem they are having? Stems are hollow and light. Stems are hollow and light and leaves float upside surface of the water. Leaves are broad which become a nesting place of a tiny bird. Leaves are broad and that become a nesting of a tiny bird. Now clear, both are clear to you all. What you have learned in floating plant, they are small and light in weight, so they float in the water. Understood? They are hollow, their stems are hollow and it is body are spongy and hollow, empty space are there, and in that space air is filled inside the space. That make their body light in weight and they can float on the water surface. Understood? Next one you have learned about the fixed plant. They fixed on the soil, inside the soil. The example is lotus and water lily. Okay? Their stems are what you have learned about their stems. It is hollow and light. Leaves float there. Okay? Now their leaves are broad. What types of leaves they are having? Broad, and they float over the surface of the water, and these leaves are covered with the what? Coated with the wax. It is coated with the wax. Why it is coated with wax? Because it helps the plant leaves to help from floating. It float on the air, wax is there. So when it will touch the water, wax is there, then it will protect the leaf and leaf will save from rotting. Understood? And stromata is present on the upper surface of the leaf. Where stromata is present on the upper surface of the leaf, it helps in exchange of gases. Leaves are broad, so tiny birds, they can make their nest there. Understood? Leaves are broad which become a nesting of place of a tiny birds. Now next one is underwater or submerged plant. Underwater or submerged plant. What is the example of this type of plant? Tap grass or hydria. Tap grass or hydria. These types of plant are inside the water. They live inside the water. Roots are fixed in the muddy soil. where roots are fixed in the muddy soil. Leaves are narrow. In this type of plant, which type of leaves they are having? Leaves are narrow, thin. Leaves are narrow, thin with no stomata. Leaves are narrow, thin with no stomata. Exchange of gases take place through the body surface. Exchange of gases take place through the body surface. Understood? And steams are fixable. Their steams are fixable. They can move here and this type that. It is fixable. It can bend on the flowing water. Because it is inside the underwater, it can bend inside the flowing water. Understood? So, this plant clean the water by removing carbon dioxide. Clean the water by removing carbon dioxide breathed out by the aquatic animal. Now, clear student, what you have learned today about an aquatic plant? Aquatic plants can be divided into three types. What are they? First one is floating plant. Second one is fixed plant, third one is underwater or submerged plant. Plant that is fixed, example of that type of plant are duckweed and water lily. Fixed plant, this is the floating plant example. Fixed plant example, lotus and water lily. And underwater, this under the water, inside the water, tap grass and hydrogen. So it is clear which type of character different plant, three types of plant they are having different types of character, so they can live in particular place. Due to their character, they can live, they can float on the water, they can fixed, plant are fixed there and they are inside the water, under the water. So it is clear students. So you read the chapter nicely and you draw that flow chart which I have given you yesterday. Whole flow chart, you learn it and you draw in your copy. Okay, bye bye student. Next class we will meet again.